Hello and welcome into this week's episode of the Black and Gold Report. I'm John Gross. Spring season is getting started here at UNCP while the winter sports season continues to roll on. So with that in mind, there is so much to talk about on today's episode. We have highlights from a whole host of recent sporting events here at UNCP. Plus, we continue our exclusive one-on-one interview with UNCP women's soccer head coach Lars Anderson. All that and so much more coming your way next on the Black and Gold Report. Let's start off today's show by taking a look back at some of the biggest storylines in the world of UNC Pembroke athletics. Congratulations to the UNCP wrestling program, who in their first year competing in the Mountain East Conference captured the MEC title. That team title included 5 individual winners at their respective weight classes and 9 all-conference selections, all 9 of those placed in the top 3 of their respective weight classes. So congratulations to head coach O.T. Johnson and all of his wrestlers. Congratulations as well to Erman Japletti and Joshua Chepkasir, who were named MEC Track and Field Runners of the Week. They continue to dominate both outdoors and indoors as, again, we make our way into the winter sports season. A couple records were broken. We will roll the highlights on those. 700 career wins for head coach Paul O'Neill, the UNCP baseball team. We'll have those highlights for you in a second. And congratulations to softball head coach Brittany Bennett, who became the winningest coach in UNCP softball history. Last weekend, UNCP softball kicked off its 2020 campaign and got off to its best start since 2011, going 3-1 over the weekend. Their 2020 season continued earlier this week when on Tuesday night they hosted the Chowan Hawks in a doubleheader. Here's how it all went down, including a record-breaking win for head coach Brittany Bennett.
Welcome to a breezy and sunny afternoon on the campus of UNC Pembroke, where the Braves of UNCP take on the Hawks of Chowan. She'll flare this one to left field. Going back is Buchanan. It's over her head. Sells standing up at second base with a one-out double. Here's a fly ball to deep center field. Going back is DeVore over the wall, and that is out of here. Braves retake the lead on the first home run hit by Jordan Adcox this year, and it is 2-1 Braves. One-two, swing and a miss. 3 straight strikeouts for Mallory Leviner in 4th innings. Here's a liner to right field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Rounding first, heading to second is Jordan Adcox. Sliding into second with a leadoff double. Next pitch, a flare over the first base bag. Coming home to tie this game is Adcox. A game-tying RBI single by Caitlin Norton. And we are knotted at 3. 2-2. Chopper over to second. Throw over to first, and that is the ball game.
On second, first pitch swinging, rolled into center field, and Randy Wetherington being waved home, and UNCP takes a 1-0 lead here at the bottom of the first. Lee on second, Buchanan on first. Here's the 2-2 with two-way to Morgan. On the outside corner, strike 3 looking. Season, she is 0 for 4 on the year. Slapped off to short, and the run will come home. Baker thrown out at first, but the Braves take a 2-0 lead in RBI sacrifice ground out. Count 2 outs. Thomas leads off at second. Slow roller into right center field, and it's bobbled by DeVore. That will allow Thomas to score an RBI single for Randy Wetherington, and the Braves opening things up 3-0. Their second run scored in the second inning. First time run at the plate. The freshman, Abby White, delivers and strikes out Reed, and there is victory number 154 for Brittany Bennett in her UNC Pembroke career, and she is now the winningest coach in UNCP softball history. You split today's doubleheader against Chowan. What are your overall thoughts on your team's performance today?
Well, I thought today was tough. You know, we play 6 games in 3 days or so. Yes, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I'm counting them. So 6 games in about 5 days or less because we had to come and play on last Saturday. It's tough. I mean, I definitely thought the girls were tired today, but you got to do what you got to do for the weather. That's still no excuse. But today was grueling. It was just really hard today. I saw some things in the first game that I have never seen from this team this whole year, and they decided to show up today. So I'm really glad it's preseason so that we can learn from it. But I really had to get into them today because they were just responding really poorly in the first game to the failure. I think it's so much about me as it is the kids that have come through this program and have gone from, I think, what I consider girls to turning into young women. You got Taylor Cloninger and Natalie Kleeman, you got Shelby and Katie Austin, and then you have Katie and Carly Wilson, you have Bree Hartley, Megan Hillard, Selena Ashley, you have Katie Saunders and Whitney Jackson and Morgan Davis, you have Ashley Mason and Abby Walters, you have Jessica Auld, Carly Wilson, and Alyssa Price. And you have Haley Epperson, you have Tony, you have Taylor, you have Jamie. I mean, just all those kids. Abby Walters, just Coach Hobbs, Kristen Hobbs, my old assistant coach. Bree Hartley has served as an assistant. Courtney Roberts, Stephanie Graziani, our current assistant. All those people played such an important role. It's 100% about them, and it's really just another day for me.
UNC Pembroke's baseball program also got its 2020 campaign underway over the weekend, taking on Shepherd, who made the trip down from West Virginia. The Braves took 2 of 3 against the Rams. That brought head coach Paul O'Neill just 1 win away from yet another milestone victory. And on Tuesday night, he did just that, picking up his 700th career coaching victory. We have the highlights from the weekend series against Shepherd. After a thrilling 5-2 victory yesterday against Shepherd, UNC Pembroke is back in action here at Cox Field, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the UNCP Sports Network. The 0-2 from Scott. And he went around. 3 straight strikeouts for Scott. There goes Buckham. Hit and run is on. And no double play, so the Braves will score. 2 with 1 away. 9 strikeouts for Jalen Scott, who continues to mow down these batters. Mobley, backhands, flip to first.
Picked by Granger, it's there.
Time. 6-4-3, turns 2, and against the Braves, out of a big-time jam, 2. Here to left field, into foul play. Hammonds giving chase towards the bullpen, sliding forward and makes the grab. Off to right field, towards the
Good
wall,
go.
looking up, and it's out of here! Gage Hammonds, a solo shot to right field, and don't look now, but there's life in Pembroke. Moving along, the shift is on once again, line to right field, and leaping, nearly falling out of the glove of Holmes in right, but that will wrap things up. Shepherd, 4-2 winners here at Cox Field. The opening weekend wraps up today here at Cox Field. It's the rubber match between UNC Pembroke and the Shepherd Rams here on a beautiful, sunny Sunday Super Bowl afternoon here in Pembroke, North Carolina. To runner on second here at the bottom of the second. Well hit to left field, carrying towards the fence, sending Carr back, and it's off the wall. 1 run home as Guzman trots into second. An RBI double plays Jared Mobley. Welcome to Pembroke, Wellington Guzman. 2-0, crushed to center as Carr sprints back towards the fence, looking up, and it's out of here. Touch him all, Alex Simpson. An offensive onslaught for the Braves here in the second. And UNCP takes a 4-0 lead on the 2-run jack by Simpson. 0-2, smoke to left field, and that ball is way gone for Gage Hammonds,
his second long ball of this opening weekend series. Second home run of the day for the Braves.
For the last part of it with 2 outs.
And he fans another batter. Could be it for Morrison, but it's his 9th strikeout. Full count, 2 away, top of the 6th. And the freshman shuts the door in the inning. Welcome to college baseball, Darren Bowen. And broke a strike away from closing out this weekend series. And Austin Bass paints the outside black. And UNC Pembroke moves to 2-1 of the season. A 10-3 victory over the Shepherd Rams.
Hey, Coach, we'll start with your starter, Jacob Morrison. Going into the rubber match today, 5 solid innings, 9 strikeouts. The only mistake that he made was a 3-run home run. So how pleased were you with your starter today?
I mean, I wrote it down on one of our positive things for the day. You know, and Jacob gave us a chance today by being able to go 5. It's my fault that he gave up the 3-run homer. Probably should have not let him go back out for the 5th. He said he wanted the 5th, and in my better judgment, I let him go back out. And obviously, he was laboring, you know, through that inning, and he couldn't locate the ball, and, you know, he gave up a 3-run homer. If I go to Darren in the 5th, you know, maybe it's maybe we play out in front the whole time, you know, and it's a laugher going away.
Plate today, 3 for 3, 4 RBIs, including the 2-run home run in the big second inning. First, we'll start off with the home run. What were you seeing at the plate?
I got up 2-0 in the count. I was just looking to do some damage. Goose did a great job before me of extending the inning with a double with 2 outs. My main focus was just stay up the middle, try to drive Goose in, keep the inning going, get it back to Trevor and Ethan at the top.
And again, congratulations to Coach O'Neill. His 700th win came in a 13-3 victory on Tuesday night against intra-state opponent Queens. On Wednesday night, UNC Pembroke hosted its annual Think Pink Night as the UNCP men's and women's basketball teams took in the Flagler Saints, looking to keep things rolling for both programs. The men's team entered the game freshly ranked in the top 25, sitting at number 23 in the national polls, while the women's side, surging as of late, they've won 3 of their last 5. We'll start things off with the women's game, a very exciting matchup that came down to the wire as UNCP looked to keep things rolling against Flagler.
Tonight, basketball will be played, but there's so much more at stake tonight. It's a night to honor, it's a night to remember, and it's a night to continue the fight against breast cancer. It's the annual Think Pink game here at UNC Pembroke as the UNCP Braves take on the Flagler Saints. Some early shot attempts from beyond the arc as Farmer gets it to the low block and puts UNCP on the board. Season lead the series record 11-10. Good cross-court feed. Tiara Williams from beyond the arc. And the Braves back in front by 2. Sitting at 23 in the polls as Ebron gets things going from distance. 5 early points off the bench for Jill Ebron, putting the speeds ahead. Inside with the left and 1. Lester off to Farmer. Free throw line jumper. Sits on the rim and falls through. Spinning inside, good finish in the lane, it's rebounded by Farmer. A wild 4th quarter here at the bank. Flagler comes storming back and takes the lead, but UNCP takes that blow and goes the other way with it. Braves capture their 5th conference win of the season, moved to 10-11 on the year.
All right, Coach, coming off of a pretty wild 4th quarter and a game that you take down Flagler for your 5th conference win of the season. What are your thoughts on what transpired in that one?
I just knew it would be a struggle. You know, they're a good team. I mean, you know, record aside, they're a very good basketball team. They're very athletic. I thought we were really good defensively 1st and 3rd quarters, not so good 2nd and 4th. And they made a great run to come back and actually take the lead. But we didn't fold. You know, we made some plays when we needed to, and so proud of our girls, and really knocked down free throws, and for the most part did a pretty good job on the glass. I think not giving up. I didn't see the second half stats, but only had one offensive rebound in the first half. So did some good things. Struggled to shoot the ball. Our zone execution's got to get a lot better. But yeah, good win.
Can you take me through that final minute and a half? Because there were a bunch of timeouts called, and you had the chance to chat with your team a few times on the stretch.
Man, I don't even. Yeah, we ran a play to try to get Mel a shot when we advanced it with about 40-some seconds left, and after that, I don't remember. I know we were just trying to hold the ball after that, after the intentional foul. And I think that put us up 4, maybe up 3 with the ball or 4 with the ball, and so then it was just try to hang on the ball. I think there was only 20.6 seconds left or something after that happened. So, but that was a big stop there. We finally got somebody in the gap. Wade's just a heck of a player. She's been hurt, and he didn't play her to the fourth quarter. I think she had 9 points and 4 rebounds. She's an excellent player, good athlete. We finally got somebody on the spin there, to help, and got a good stop there.
After the women's team took care of business in a thriller against Flagler, it was up to the men's side to continue the momentum into the rest of the evening, and they did just that against the Flagler Saints. Take a look at these highlights, which include some incredible dunks, courtesy of Spencer Levi.
The Braves are back in the rankings for the first time since December. And on the Think Pink game, while campus is thinking about breast cancer awareness, the Braves are thinking about extending their win streak to 7 straight games. Strother in transition, one of the better point guards in the conference, averaging 43% for the field, gets his own miss and puts it back up and in. As there's a deflection and an interception by Pruitt. Strother the other way, Levi and Bullard will circle it back out. Right elbow jumper for Pruitt, and that's nothing but nylon. Kinsey to inbound, up toward the left wing for Sean Kirk, pulls up for a jumper, and that's good. Edge. Steal, Jabri Bullard, Sean Kirk handles the ball. Bullard straightaway 3, got it! Jabri Bullard from downtown, extending the Braves lead to 6. Kick out straightaway 3 for Sean Kirk. Off the mark, Levi fighting for the offensive board. Strother, Levi! That is selfless basketball right there. Levi in transition, look out! This place has erupted. 5 to shoot. Kinsey needs to make a decision quickly, puts up a prayer, and off glass and in! Lassine driving, Pruitt, right block, backdoor feed to Kinsey, and he gets the 3-point play. Setting up the offense. Strother tries to attack, feeds to Sean Kirk, kick back out to Strother. He's feeling it. His brother Sean, and they'll bring it back out to Strother. Ratliff on a curl screen, drives in the lane, off balance. Levi with the follow. Swackhammer picks up his pivot foot, stolen away by Micah Kinsey. And he goes coast to coast for the 2. Kinsey, Levi, inside, all alone is Pruitt. To 17 and 4, Tyrell Kirk, alley, oh!
There it is. That's what we wanted right there.
Brother to brother. And free funnel cake fries for everyone in attendance. Braves win this one 93-69.
Congratulations on the victory, Coach. Something that you always preach about is winning the rebounding margin. You won it there last time by plus 16. Today you won it by plus 10. Was that one of the things you were pleased with today?
Yeah, that's one thing I was pleased with. It could have been plus 20 if we didn't let them get as many offensive rebounds as they did. But defensively, we had stretches where we played well. Offensively, we executed when we needed to. Got careless with the ball a few times. Just not slowing down. But overall, great win by the team. We did what we had to do. We just got to keep it moving.
Just as the second squad kind of coming off, we know that, our whole roster, we're 10 deep, which we have a great advantage over everybody else in the league. So when we come in there, we just want to utilize that to the max potential, and I think that we've been doing that as best as we can. I just think, I think it's needed. I think that's just the biggest thing, because, when that happens, Granted, we have to like be able to get back on defense and act like we've been there before, but you can just feel, especially like home games like this, when we come in, we hit a three, we get a dunk. Our six man is very prevalent, our crowd and everything. They're there, and it helps our bench, it helps our coaches, it helps just everything around and making it more difficult on the other team.
You've seen Dave Nguyen sit down with UNCP head soccer coach Lars Anderson, and today we continue our chat with UNCP's head coach. Really exciting stuff in today's interview.
Played high school soccer, starting out in Sweden, but in 1987 you moved to the United States and played soccer in Tennessee, I believe.
I came to high school. I had graduated from high school in Sweden, and I came to Clarksville High School in Clarksville, Tennessee, as an exchange student and played under Coach Dave Donahue. But I actually played both football. My brother had been an exchange student 3 years before me, and this is when soccer-style kicking was fairly new. It's very unusual in high school. So I became a little bit of a high school star because a lot of the kickers at that time in high school were straight-on kickers, and the accuracy just isn't there for a straight-on kicker in comparison to a soccer-style kicker. So I had actually seen a football because my brother brought one home. So I had prepared a little bit. My brother said, you should go out for the high school football team. So upon arrival, I asked my host family, can you take me to the high school football practice? And I was introduced to Coach Esau Lathan, and he said, sure, I'll give you an opportunity. And I think I arrived in America on a Monday, and that Friday night I kicked in a high school football jamboree. And my lasting memory of that was I didn't know the team colors, so I was given all the gear except socks, and I didn't know that everyone wore white socks. So I just had a pair of red soccer socks. So I wore my high school uniform with the red soccer socks, which Coach pointed out that I need to go buy some white socks after the scrimmage because I had no idea, and I quite frankly I didn't know the rules, so I didn't know when you were supposed to kick. So Coach Esau Lathan told me, he said, that's Coach Matura. He's one of our assistants. Never be more than 10 yards away from him at any time during the game, because when he points at you, it's time for you to go in and kick. So I ran in. I didn't even know how far, from where the ball was spotted that I was supposed to put the tee down. Our quarterback was a holder, and he said, just take your steps. I'll put the tee down and just kick it through the upright. So I literally knew nothing. My brother had prepped me some, but I really didn't know the rules of American football. But I had a blast. And then that spring, I also played high school soccer on a very, very good high school team. Coach Donahue is a legend in Tennessee. I think he's still the second most winning coach on the boys' side in Tennessee high school soccer history. So I had the good fortune of playing for a very, very, very good high school soccer coach.
So you were a high school football player, an American football player. Did you just go in and kick? I'm sure you warmed up on the sidelines every once in a while, or did you not have a clue when you were going to go in?
In the beginning, I didn't. I didn't know how many downs there were. I didn't know when you kicked. I just knew that unlike soccer, you're supposed to kick the ball over what I called crossbar, between the posts and over the crossbar. And literally the first 3 or 4 games, Coach Matura told me, it's time for you to go in and kick. So I ran onto the field. I waited for Frankie, our quarterback, to put the tee down, and then I took my steps based on where the tee was at, and then I kicked the ball through the uprights. Now, then my American mother sat me down and said, okay, you need to know the rules. So I learned about, the 4 downs and when you probably, would consider kicking. So I knew when to kind of be a little bit better prepared and ready. But it was a learning curve because at that time, there was no American football on television in Sweden. The tiny little bit of knowledge I had was because my brother had been an exchange student 3 years prior to my arrival in the United States.
Talk to me about that, moving from Sweden to the United States, basically your home, to a new country. Well, I only ask that because my mother is a Vietnamese immigrant. She came over from the fall of Saigon. So I can only imagine what that transition was like. Obviously a different set of circumstances.
Correct.
But just going from something you're very familiar with to something you're not so familiar with.
Well, my parents were, like I said, educators, so they always encouraged my brother and I to explore, to learn new things. And we traveled a lot when we were children because my parents, in the beginning, until my dad became an administrator, were both teachers. So they were off in the summers. They were very frugal with their money. So I had traveled a lot of different places.
Before we wrap up today's show, let's take a look at the week ahead in UNCP athletics. Later this afternoon, UNCP continues its 3-game baseball series against Lock Haven. First pitch this afternoon is at 1 p.m. You can catch the action of the UNCP Sports Network if you can't make it out to Cox Fields. Also, this afternoon, a basketball doubleheader down at North Georgia. The women's team will take on the Nighthawks to kick things off at 1:30, followed by the men's side taking on North Georgia at 3:30. Softball on the road as well at Newberry, a doubleheader. Games at 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. Then a couple of track and field meets. The Campbell City Invitational gets started at 1 p.m. And then this morning, a 10 a.m. start time for the Campbell City Elite Indoor Track and Field competition. On Sunday, UNCP wraps up its weekend series against Lock Haven. That at noon, wrestling heads to Newberry for the Newberry Open. Monday, kicking off a very busy week. A couple of road events, men's and women's track and field on the road at the Queens Multi. On Tuesday, that continues over in Charlotte. Softball, a doubleheader at home, 3 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. against Fayetteville State. Wrestling returns home as well versus Greensboro and Spartanburg Methodist. Those duels are at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. respectively. On Wednesday, softball continues their action. A doubleheader against Queens. First pitch is at 1 p.m., followed by a 3:30 game of the doubleheader. Baseball taking on Chowan at 3 p.m. as well. Swimming on the road at the conference championships. Men's and women's basketball heads down to Greenwood, South Carolina to take on Lander. The women's game tips at 5:30, followed by the men at 7:30. On Thursday, the swimming conference championships continue. That's out in Canton, Ohio. Track and fields getting things going at the JDL College Team Challenge up at Winston-Salem. Finally, on Friday, swimming continues the conference championship up in Canton, Ohio. Women's track and fields and men's track and field at the VMI Indoor Classic. And then baseball on the road against Columbus State, opening up Peach Belt Conference play, while wrestling heads up to Elkins, West Virginia to take on Davis and Elkins.